Hello everyone, down here in the fish room, I really need to talk about this fish. This is the Rummy Nose Rasbora, otherwise known as the Sawbwa Rasbora. It is an incredible fish that doesn't get very large. This is a 20 long that we're looking at. Want to tell you all about it. I think after you see this video, you're going to want to add them to your must-have fish. So this is a 20-gallon long. Here we've got the Rummy Nose Rasbora, otherwise known as Sawbwa Resplendins, and there's a lot of other common names for this fish, including the Sawbwa Rasbora, the Asian Rummy Nose, Burmese Rummy Nose, and the Naked Micro Rasbora. So it's got a lot of common names, but regardless, this is an absolutely fantastic looking fish. This is a tank that Joanna aquascaped on her channel, The Small Scape. I will put that video in the upper right-hand corner if you want to see more. But this fish is from Myanmar, and it's absolutely outstanding. As you can see here, the colors, I think, are what makes this fish so popular. You can see here, now this tank has pretty much almost all males, and that's why you're seeing that really beautiful blue color with the orange in the face and in the tails. If there were females in here, you would see them be a little bit more olive or silvery color without a lot of that orange. This fish is in this 20-gallon long. You're going to see some green kubatai rasboras in here. We've also got some microtenopoma in here, as well as a few cory cats. It's going to max out at right around 1.25 inches, maybe slightly larger or so. The fish that you see here are pretty close to being full grown. By the way, if you are looking for these fish and other really cool fish, check out our channel sponsor, Flip Aquatics, at flipaquatics.com. Their information will be in the description below. They often have these fish in stock. Now, the temperament of these fish, I think, is what is so attractive besides their insane color and just absolutely beautiful, but they're very peaceful. And we've kept these fish in a lot of different settings, and we've brought in hundreds and hundreds of these fish. And so we have a lot of experience with them in all different size tanks and with different tank mates and different setups, and they are always so peaceful. And you can see throughout this video, they have a very interesting movement to them in terms of the way that they go around the tank, and they are usually fairly relaxed. They do like to be in groups, and so if you're going to get this fish, the bare minimum is 6. I think we've got about 15 in here or so. As you can see, they're not going to necessarily school tightly, but they do like to be in groups, and it's going to help them feel way more comfortable. If you're not keeping them in groups and you've only got a few, they're probably going to hide quite a bit. But if you get them in larger groups, they're going to be out more, be a little bit more confident. The other cool thing about these fish is they like to pick at things. They'll pick at the wood, they'll pick at rocks, they'll pick at the plant surfaces, and it makes them kind of interesting. And I have also found them to be extremely hardy fish. They always come in very, very strong. They are very healthy, and they seem to withstand a wide range of water parameters. Lifespan, you're looking at least a few years, 3 or 4 years. Tank mates. So there are a decent number of options when it comes to tank mates. Like I said here, you can see them in here with the green kubatai rasbora, and you can keep them with most of the other types of rasboras, whether it's the green kubatai or maybe the dwarf rasbora or the pork chop rasbora. So you've got your rasboras, your neon types would be pretty good on your tetra side of things, ember tetras. Maybe you've got the Galaxy Rasbora as well, cherry barbs. If you're looking for something that's going to do a little bit of scavenging, you've got your cory cats, you've got your pygmy cories, your odos, your bristlenose, your clown plecos. By the way, if you are looking for fish to keep with these and you want more information, check out all of the species profiles I have in the description. Give you a lot more information about fish to keep with your Rummy Nose Rasbora. You could probably keep them with mystery snails, guppies, platies. If you're looking for like a centerpiece fish, maybe your pistogramma, your rams, your crebensis, all might be good. Checkerboard cichlids would be really cool. Now the water parameters for these fish, like I've said, I haven't found them to be overly demanding. They can go down easily into the low 70s. We keep our fish tanks right around 78 to 80, and they've been thriving there, as you can see. And again, we've kept them at those higher temperatures for a very, very long time and kept hundreds and hundreds of these fish in our fish room at those temperatures. Never had a problem. pH, they can withstand a wide range of pH, anywhere from around 6 to 8. We keep our fish tanks right around a pH of 7.8 to 8. And they do well there. Water hardness, again, anywhere from 3 to maybe 15 or even 20 degrees on your KH and GH. Our fish tank hardness is right around a 10, and they're doing just fine. Now, in terms of water quality, you do want to have good water quality in terms of no ammonia, no nitrite, and nitrates at less than 20 parts per million. If you don't know what that means, check out the video in the upper right hand corner. We go over the nitrogen cycle, and you can learn a lot more about that. Feeding these fish is extraordinarily easy to do. They take just about all fish foods we've put in the tank. We feed our fish primarily North Fin foods. That's our flakes and our small pellets like the micro pellets. The Rummy Nose Rasbora also goes absolutely crazy for live baby brine. And so if you put a little bit of a live baby brine in there for a treat, they absolutely love it. They'll eat frozen brine shrimp as well. Tank size, I think you're best off in a 20-gallon or more, just because this is a fish that likes to be kept in groups. It's not a very tiny fish. And so if you put them in a 10-gallon, could you get away with that? Yeah, but if you've got 8, 10, or 12 of them in a 10-gallon, it might look a little bit cramped. Again, you're looking at a 20-gallon long here, but a standard 20 would work just fine. And like I said, keep them in a big group. Get 10, 12, 15 of them so you can see what you're seeing here and really have them be confident. So again, I would say the 20-gallon is probably the better option. Decorating your tank, Joanna, I think, did a great job here. She's got plants and rocks and wood. The substrate is sand. It doesn't matter. These fish don't interact with the substrate, so sand or gravel is fine. Use your substrate choice based on the other fish in the tank. I like keeping these fish with a darker background on a darker substrate. I think it brings out that blue color a little bit more, and certainly the orange, where if you put them on a lighter substrate, and we've done that before, they wash out a little bit. They're not as dark. The orange isn't as pronounced. So if you want to replicate this color, if you keep them, if you can mimic this with the darker backgrounds and the darker substrate, you're going to be in good shape. You definitely want to give them some open water, some space to swim, because they're mostly open water swimmers. You're going to find them in the mid part of the tank and the upper parts of the tank. Breeding these fish it's not necessarily hard, but also caring for the fry is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world. It's certainly not as easy as like most of your cichlids. Obviously, you need males and females. They are egg scatterers like a lot of your barbs and your rasboras and your tetras, which means they're going to scatter eggs all over the place. Usually people who breed them on purpose are going to put in a spawning mop. They're going to remove that spawning mop, put it in a 10-gallon tank, possibly with a little methylene blue, and make sure that they've got a cycled sponge filter. Those eggs are usually going to hatch within a day or two. And then you're going to let them go through their egg sac, and you're going to have to feed them extraordinarily tiny food, either like the ground up rapashi, not the gel form, but just the powder form, infusoria. And then usually after about a month or two, you can feed them live baby brine. But it's not necessarily the easiest thing to do when breeding these fish. And the adults will definitely eat the eggs. They'll eat the fry. So you do have to remove the eggs if you want to hatch out the fry and watch them grow. This is an outstanding fish. I think throughout the video you can see the colors are absolutely fantastic. The way that they behave within the tank is very, very interesting. I highly recommend, if you get a chance to keep them, do so. They might not be the cheapest fish in the world. Usually if you're going to a pet store, you can expect to pay somewhere between $6 and $10 a piece usually. So something to consider if you're going to get that larger group. But again, can't recommend them highly enough. They're absolutely outstanding fish. And if you want more information on tankmates, check out the description below. Appreciate you being here, and we'll see you in the next one.